Why did I decide to do this series? I'm going to have to start poking around some really raw wounds of mine. Greetings fellow snowflakes, this is part 9 of How to Be Human, a series in which I look at all the different aspects of human relationships and sexuality and try to make sense of the mess. And this week I'm looking at a common sexual problem that people have: pressure and difficulty around orgasm.
I don't need no good advice, I'm already wasted. I don't need some other life cold and complicated. I don't need no Sunday tricks, tea and sympathizing. I don't need no special face to anesthetize.
Surely, one of the main points to having sex with someone is to give and receive pleasure. If both people orgasm, or come, then that is surely a sign that the sex was good. Successful, if you like. Orgasms are great, of course, and if you can be sexual with someone and successfully get off while also helping your partner to get off, then all is well. If it's easy for you, then no problem. Unfortunately though, some people find it really difficult to orgasm with other people. Some very unlucky people even find it hard to orgasm at all. I don't know quite what to say about the second of those two problems. It must really be horrible to never orgasm. Orgasms are great, and I'm certainly a big fan of masturbation. Take the time to work out what feels good in your own body, fantasize about whatever excites you, play with and pleasure with yourself until you find that release. No one else will know how to turn you on unless you first figure it out for yourself after all. But a far more common problem is when you have no difficulty at all making yourself come, but when it comes to sexual activity with someone else, something always seems to get in the way of you getting off. And whatever you try, nothing works. In the end, you kind of have to get yourself off while they are present. But naturally, they are disappointed, and you are disappointed, and it's horrible and soul-destroying for everyone. It's a very stressful and painful experience, and it can make you feel unlovable and a failure at sex. Also, your partner might feel like a failure too and wonder if the problem is them. It can ruin relationships and really fuck with your self-esteem. Let's take a step back and reflect on the fact that goal orientation is never a good recipe for pleasure or intimacy or for solving this particular problem. In fact, pressure towards a certain goal, in this case orgasm, can itself contribute to the problem. It's hard to relax if you're creating pressure in your own mind and judging failure or success on whether you overcome this difficulty. I know that since enjoying pleasure together seems to be the whole point of sex, that saying that whether someone orgasms or not doesn't matter seems like a contradiction or a paradox. But it's a bit like Buddhism in a way. The whole point of Buddhism is that since attachment causes suffering, then the nullification of attachment is the way to lessen or eliminate suffering. Yet, weirdly enough, the goal to rid oneself of attachment can become a kind of attachment itself, and so it defeats itself. This is the concept of right effort. You somehow have to work towards a goal without trying too hard. It seems paradoxical or nonsensical, yet it's a fact of life. You're never going to ease off about something if you're stressing it and trying too hard to ease off about it. The same goes for orgasm. Pressure to attain orgasm is only going to get in the way of achieving it, because you have to be relaxed, in the moment, and thoroughly enjoying yourself to achieve orgasm. So let's take a step back. A sexual experience is a coming together of two or more people to experience physical intimacy with each other, to enjoy each other's bodies and each other's minds and personalities too, and to give and receive pleasure. Pleasure is not necessarily orgasm. A lot of pleasure happens before anyone comes. So I will state simply the truth I have had a glimpse of and learnt, but then sadly forgot again for a little while, but I'm remembering it again now. If two or more people come together to enjoy sexual activity with each other and everyone goes away from the experience happy and satisfied, then that is a good sexual experience. That is successful sex. Nothing more is required. It doesn't matter if one person doesn't orgasm. It doesn't matter if both people don't orgasm. It doesn't even matter if nobody got wet or nobody got hard. Did you enjoy yourselves? Are you content and happy with what happened? Then that's all that matters. Orgasm is like the cherry on top. It's a happy bonus when it happens. Try and think about it like that. Try and relax into it. It still might not happen. Maybe you need to try something new. Maybe you need to communicate your desires and fantasies better. Maybe you need to work towards being fully in the moment. Maybe even after all those things you still won't orgasm. But really, as long as everyone enjoyed themselves, does it really matter that much if anyone came or not? Obviously it's nice if orgasm results, but, and here's the key, no amount of trying, striving and stressing is ever going to get you there anyway. So chill out about it. If it does happen, then it's only going to be when you are relaxed, excited and totally in the moment of what is happening. And even then, it may not happen. But you'll never get there through pressure and stress, so fuck it. Just relax and enjoy yourself. Don't worry about whether you orgasm or not. And it's not a failure if you do not bring your partner to orgasm either. In many ways we always make ourselves come anyway. Some people have a kind of mental blockage that gets in the way of this. And the most successfully orgasmic amongst us all know their own body really well and successfully communicate what they need mentally or physically to get themselves off. We really need to end these toxic ideas that orgasm is a matter of success or failure for either person, and that a person's worth as a sexual partner can be judged on whether they orgasm and whether they bring their partner to orgasm. That atmosphere of pressure and judgment is what causes so many sexual problems. Sex is a communication, a dance, and it should be enjoyed and shared together as a lovely thing in its own right. It's not a competition or a test of worth. Those ideas kill pleasure and they kill intimacy. They turn a beautiful thing into something ugly. I've struggled with this particular problem myself. Some kind of disconnect, some kind of anxiety or some kind of stress and pressure always seems to get in the way. Even when I relax, try to be in the moment and all that good stuff, somehow I still don't come unless I use my own hand or occasionally when I phase out into fantasy while someone is going down on me. It's not very satisfying for the other person in either case, and I almost always feel like a failure at sex as a result. I don't truly know the way out of this problem, at least for me personally, but I have grasped that a beginning point for starting to make sex at least less stressful and more enjoyable is to ease off on the pressure. Stop being so goal-oriented about this and just embrace the philosophy that the point of sex is that we have a good time together and that this is all that really matters in the end. Cultivating an attitude of relaxing and simply enjoying the whole thing has to be the only possible way out of this mess. Whether both people come, only one person comes, or nobody does, the important thing is that we enjoyed ourselves. There's always next time. I don't really want to say anything more about this. I've revealed too much already and I might get upset if I continue. But next time I will talk about a related problem. You may have noticed that I talked a few times about being in the moment. Well, next time on How to Be Human I will be talking about fantasy versus presence, another problem I've struggled with. Until then, be kind to yourselves and to each other. We're all different, we're all special, snowflakes unite.